Young Eagles is a program that the Experimental Aircraft Association began about 27 years ago. And that was to introduce young people to aviation. So anyone from 8 years old to 17 can come out when we do the Young Eagle events and get a free airplane ride. And most of the time, they get to handle some of the controls too while we're up in the air. Young people typically don't get an opportunity to see what opportunities there are in aviation. We put fences around airports, and now we have the transportation security things that it's hard for youngsters to get an opportunity. When I was young, we didn't have so many fences, and it was easy to go out to the airport and offer to wash someone's airplane in turn for a ride. But it's pretty tough to do that today. And with dwindling young people being able to come into aviation, EAA, the Experimental Aircraft Association, created the Young Eagles program to try to stimulate some interest. We are in a Vans RV-12. This is an aircraft that has been built by Taylor and the rest of our crew at Teen Aircraft Factory, and it flies at about 138 miles an hour, carries enough fuel to go about 5 hours, and yeah, we've traveled a long way with this. But these kids have done a great job in building this airplane. This is the third one that we've completed in Teen Aircraft Factory. And actually, this one flies better than all of the others. I'm not sure we want to sell this one. It's a commitment of approximately 2 years in normal times of every Saturday we meet to build. And these kids have put a lot of commitment in. They've done an excellent job. And as I said, this airplane flies better than any of the others, so we're learning well. Just looking at the faces of the youngsters and having worked with them as long as we have is just an exhilarating feeling that I get from no other thing. It's wonderful to see these kids and the smiles on their faces, even though they're covered by masks lately. But we know what's going on under there, and to have so many kids stimulate that interest and to want to pursue aviation in their future is just as rewarding as it could possibly be. When they sign up, they are signing the contract that says that they're going to show up and that they're going to participate. They should attend each Saturday's build by having studied the plans ahead of time and knowing what they're going to be doing and being prepared to do that level of work. They do get it, and most are very well prepared. Aviation is such a broad field. We typically think of it as just being pilots in aircraft, but there's a whole lot more. Our youngsters completing the program are now going to be able to earn credit towards an aircraft power plant and airframe license if they want to be mechanics. There's airport management opportunities. One of our youngsters is an intern here at the airport in the summer. There's just so much that can be done. Avionics, electricians, all kinds of opportunities that are aviation related that unless you get involved, you really don't become aware of. So we hope that we'll get some more young ladies involved in the program. We hope that they'll stick and not lose interest. But also we have to realize that with youngsters today, we're competing with all kinds of programs and opportunities for them, and so many of them have to work, and they're holding down jobs and things. But by working with us, they learn responsibility, they get life skills, and building this airplane touches on all of the STEM classes that they're going to get elsewhere. I'm so proud of all of these youngsters and what they've done and what they've accomplished. That to just be around them and to be a party to them is just a wonderful experience, and I couldn't be prouder for them. As I said, this is the third one we've completed. The materials to start number 4 are over in the hangar, and number 4 begins in June, first Saturday in June. Well, all of the mentors in Teen Aircraft Factory have just done a wonderful job, and their commitment cannot be underestimated. They make my life easy.
It was pretty cool. It was a very fun experience. My name is Stanley Kratunkoff. I go to Lakewood Ranch High School. I'm in 10th grade, and I built an airplane. I took a Young Eagles flight in September 2019. I was with my father at the time, and he was telling me, hey, they're building an airplane out here. Ever since I was little, I've wanted to fly airplanes, and I wasn't interested in building one. Well, that changed when I went for the first time in around August, about August. I went around August, and the first time I went there, I fell in love with it. It was the best thing ever. It was really, it just clicked with me. I knew I wanted to be there for a long time. I knew I wanted to surround myself with those kind of people. I loved everything about it. And it was just kind of natural for me. It's a lot of measure twice, cut once. You really have to be very precise about what you're doing. It's very time consuming, but it's very rewarding at the end. And now, you know, it's like as if it's your child, and you know, you never want to lose it. It's tough to see it go somewhere with some other person because you built it and you care about it. But it's a very delicate process, but also a very fun process. A lot of the skills I actually learned from my father. He's taught me a lot of things, and it really made me the person I am today. And I thank him for that. Other skills that I learned that I didn't know was riveting, of course. Riveting the aircraft, you know, it was simple. It was a lot to do. Probably one of the most fun things I've done. I enjoyed riveting. And another skill I would say I learned is precision. It's not really a tool set. It's more of a mental thing. But I would say that's one of the most important things I've learned is to be accurate, to be precise, to do it good and right the first time. Yeah, I mean, ever since I was, you know, I've always tried to be the best, do the best, and perform the best. And as well help as much as I can. It learned a lot of taking charge when no one else wants to. And in school, you know, it helps a lot because, you know, if no one knows what to do and you're the one who does know what to do, but you're too afraid to speak up, this really enforced me or helped me to take charge and, you know, take the opportunities that are given to me. On a scale of 1 to 10, I would say an 11. It's the most exciting part. It's something I've always wanted to do. I've always wanted to fly airplanes. It's a dream since I was little. But any chance I get on an airplane, it's exciting. This one is the most exciting because, you know, we started it from scratch. I've seen it in scrap metal parts, and now it's built into something that's almost alive. Yeah, I would say it's the coolest thing in the world. It's It's great. It's great. It's a great group of people. You'll never feel welcome. And I think that maybe, if you take those opportunities, it would benefit you in the future. Definitely. You'll make a lot of new friends, and even if it doesn't sound like a great idea now, I guarantee you that when you are finished with it, it will be the best thing ever. I want to be a fighter pilot in the Air Force. Go to the Air Force Academy. I wanted to serve the country I love, and the best way I can do it is doing what I love. Yeah. On my right here is Stan Khartounkov. He's my father, pretty much the backbone of my dreams. Farthest from my right is my sister. Her name is Vanessa Khartounkov. She inspires me to do a lot of things. On my left here is my mom. She's my support. Her name's Tony Gajokova. Yeah, she supports me a lot. On my left here is the kid I inspire. It's Ivo Khartounkov. He's a funny kid, good to be around.
Yes, I'm very proud. He's been working to get to the piloting a plane for a long time, and I'm keeping his dream. Yes, he's been very good at school since day one, and in the very beginning I told him he want to be a firefighter pilot. It's real hard to get there. And I told him, I'm not going to push him for school. If he want to be a pilot, he has to do it what has to do on his own. So far, he's couple grades ahead, actually. So he's doing pretty good.
We are all so proud of him. And since he's 2, he wants to be a pilot. So we follow his dreams. Since then, we've been in every airplane show in Florida. And he wants to be a fighter jet pilot, which is make us more proud because this is a very big achievement. So everything he do and every focus he do in school and outside of school, he just absolutely concentrate on that dream. So we supporting him, and we're so proud. I'm so proud of him. It's hard for us to be sometimes on 3 different places at the same time. But Stanley is one of these boys that he just got into that program. He actually found it by himself. Nobody helped him to get involved, and he say, okay, every Saturday I have to be there. So me or his dad especially support him 100%. Like come in here, build this plane, and have another dream, next step. Yeah. Yes, all of us, our family support our kids, but Stanley is, I can say, pretty much the special one, because being a pilot, support him in this program, building this plane, and coming here in this place right now, seeing his hard work and the hard work of everyone here, every guys here, just make us, speechless.
I'm really proud of him, honestly. He's, like my mom said, he's been wanting to do this since he was a baby. So for him to finally get involved at such a young age and to be able to come out here, do it where it's so close to us, it's impacted him a lot. He's doing good in school, everything's good. He's made even closer friends here. He's gotten to know a lot of people, talk to some people who know more than he does, teach him things that a lot of people he wouldn't be able to learn on his own pretty much. So yeah, really proud of him.
I'm really supporting my brother because he's gone through a long way and he's never wanted to stop doing anything with planes or anything. Every single weekday, every single weekend, he would sit for hours and hours, and he would just focus and study on planes, and now he's reached his goal. He inspires me a lot as well. He's I couldn't ask for anyone better or anything else.
I would say to any parents that they have to find what is the kids want and support them all the way to accomplish the things. So far, for 14 years, because how he say, 2 years old, he was into the plane. I took him for first flight, I believe was 4 years old. And ever since, every time we are around the airport, and we just stop by and look at the planes. But I think his things for airplane come from my father, he just took him around the block, showed him the planes.
I'm here today to celebrate the second airplane that I've been a part of, and I've been a part of this for 4.5 years now, and it's really been a crazy and wild adventure for sure. I got involved due to my mom has a client, and I was in his office and I saw model airplanes and pictures everywhere, and I decided to ask about that, and so I started to talk to him, and he invited me actually to go flying with the EAA and the Young Eagles, and of course I wanted to, and since then I've really been stuck with aviation, and I really like it. Well, yes, every Saturday we meet here at Retrix, and about 9 o'clock we'll be heading into the gates here. We'll go to our hangar, open it up obviously, and we will have like a team discussion every before we start, and we create groups and we split off, and we have our own individual little projects that we do, and our mentors here are awesome. It's a big thing is they're very experienced, and they have really good background stories, and it's really, you learn something new about them every single time you talk to them, and it's really nice. Well, yes, I've learned a lot with a lot of hands-on, because everything here is pretty much a lot of hands-on. So I learned how to use a lot of tools, different things. I've also learned a lot of discipline as well, and everything takes time, and you gotta learn and accept that, and some things don't go the way you want it, and so you have to restart. But yeah, of course I learned something new. Well, I like trying new things, and I'd encourage other people obviously to do the same thing, and I think this would be a really good way to start that, because I also think that not many people get the opportunity to do this, and it's just really cool to show off, for sure. It's really cool. I really, yeah, I encourage a lot of people to do this. And you have a lot of leadership too here, and you learn a whole lot of that stuff, and it's good life lessons too. I would like to obviously be in the a part of aviation. A specific thing right now I am not sure, but I know that I like a lot of hands-on, so I think mechanic is kind of my route, and I'd like to do that, and I definitely enjoy it for sure. I'm very, very happy actually. Yes, like I said, this is not my first time, but this is our second one, and I just feel very accomplished for sure. It's just really cool to see something come in wooden crates, and it's just scraps of metal basically, and you build it little by little, and till now it's a functioning airplane. It flies, and I'm going to be flying in it today. So, Young Eagles is a really very friendly community, and they really showed me a lot of life lessons as well, as long as building an airplane, and I really do thank them for sure.
Definitely discipline is playing a big role. They have been working really hard on this project, and I think working as a team is something that is priceless, that they have learned. Also listening to all the instructors that they were working around, and it's just an amazing program. I think responsibility is something that I have seen in both of them, Ethan and Dylan. And again, as I mentioned, teamwork is something that I'm very proud of seeing in both of them. Following instructions, not only from the teachers, but also from the instructors around in the program with Teen Aircraft Factory.
It's really fun to be here with friends. Dylan, he plays a big role. I like doing it because, well, one, teamwork, and you can like help each other. And it's also fun to be here with family, with my mom and my brother.
I think it's worth the effort, and there is a sacrifice that needs to be done, but it's well worth it.
This is the icing on the top of the cake. They've had a chance to see it from pieces of metal in a cardboard or wooden crate that shows up, learn how to put it together, and now they see an entire airplane that flies and they get a chance to fly in it. It's a great feeling for them. I loved airplanes all my life, and when I was about 7 years old, I got my first airplane ride and said, this is what I want to do for the rest of my life. In fact, I was my statement in my high school yearbook was, I'm going to be a military pilot. And one of the few that actually accomplished their goals in life. We love to work with the youngsters, the community. There aren't that many programs available locally, at least for the young teens. So we give them an opportunity to build an airplane from the very beginning, how to handle the tools, what to do, the safety issues, etc. So we go from the whole thing, and it takes about 2 years from start to finish. So we teach them how to use the tools, we teach them how to use them safely, read the plans, but the main thing, the benefits to them over the long haul, and we've seen it through other airplanes, this is the third airplane they've just finished today, or finished and are flying today, and the youngsters, that they get a chance to learn something. They get a chance, they build teamwork, cooperation, learn how to read the plans, or at least an introduction to it so they know what they're doing. And over time, you see an amazing change in them. That's the reason I like to do it. You see them go from not knowing one end of a screwdriver from the other to being able to work with tools, to understand what they're doing, and to build an airplane that they take great pride in. In our mentor group, we have people from all different backgrounds as far as aviation is concerned. Myself, I was a former Navy pilot, aircraft maintenance officer through most of my career in the Navy. I've built a couple of airplanes myself. We have people that were in the Air Force, so we have people that worked for Boeing aircraft, you name it. So we have a wide spectrum of background. Some people have never been around an airplane before, but had the interest in working with the youngsters, learning something to do, and they have picked up the skills, and now they are mentors on their own. Well, this is our chance to give back, to try to give a future to these youngsters that we work with, and promote aviation into the future. So that's why we do it. Well, it's a career field for the future. Right now, the aviation field is booming. The airlines are looking for about 500,000 pilots within the next 15 years. All the old guys are retiring, and they're expanding. COVID's not behind us, but it's getting there. So the aviation field's opening up. And it's not only for pilots, it's for maintenance people. Anything to do with aviation is going to be a booming business in the future. So if you're looking for a career, look at aviation.
For basically the past 2 years, we've been building an airplane called the RV-12. This is actually my second airplane. It's taken a lot of blood, sweat, and tears to make this thing run. So we're here today celebrating the first flight of this plane. So that's gonna be fun. You know, all the kids were getting a flight. So I'm very excited to see how it's gonna turn out, and I'm just so proud to see everybody's work and just seeing everything accomplished and working. Ever since I was young, I've always been fascinated by airplanes. So at the age of 9 years old, I took my first flight with the Young Eagles. And you know, usually you're supposed to go one time, you can bring a friend, maybe you can go twice. I went every single Saturday that they had it. So as you know, these guys kept recognizing me, keep going and going. They asked me, say, hey, we're building an airplane. This was, you know, I was 13 at the time. They said, would you want to help us build it? I was like, sure. So I come up to the hangar, and that's when they started on the first plane we were building. And I mean, ever since then, I kept coming back, and I've learned so much from them. Yeah, mostly every Saturday, we come with a group of us, normally about 10 to 12 kids and a few mentors, and they just show us the ropes. And then, you know, after an hour or so, we're all together and we're working on our own individual pieces. For example, you know, I did a lot of the wiring and a lot of the interior details. You know, a little bit of the engine parts, but we all work here and there. So it's been a really fun experience. I mean, you know, it's complicated, as you said, but it's basically like a giant Lego set. You know, we have instructions, we have people that teach us how to do it. Like over time, I've learned so much stuff. I learned how to rivet, I've learned how to, you know, drill, I've learned how to split wires, I've learned how to program like avionics and computer systems. Yeah, I've learned a ton of stuff from this, so it's definitely beneficial. Oh yes, yeah, I'm in the engineering program at my school, and this has totally helped me. You know, I'm beyond excited right now. Everybody else is. We've been working on this for so long, and seeing it, you know, take flight and actually work is just amazing. Oh yeah, of course. You know, once we get up to about 1,000 feet, I'll probably be able to take control and fly around for about 10-15 minutes. So, in the future, I want to be a pilot. That's what I've wanted to do ever since I was younger. Basically any plane I can get my hands on. I want to go to college, you know, learn how to do it. I really want to be a corporate pilot, fly the jets. But if not, I'll be a commercial or cargo pilot. That's my main goal. And even if that doesn't work, I can always fall back on, you know, being a mechanic or aerospace engineer, because with the skills I've learned here. So, I would just say to try and get involved as many stuff as you can. Just experiment with what your interests are. You know, there's tons of things out there, but I would just say get involved and just try and find something in the area, in the Sarasota area, especially, that just sparks your interest. That's what I did.
I'm Brennan Halcomb. I'm in 11th grade at Pineview School, and today I'm here for the first flight party for the Teen Aircraft Factory. About 2.5 years now. This is my first build, and it's been really cool. So I got involved through a student at Pineview who was involved in this before. His name is Malcolm Moniz. He told me that I should check this out and I might find it interesting, and yeah, it's really cool. I want to major in aerospace engineering actually in college, so this was like a really good experience to get involved in the community and something that's hands-on. We have several projects going on at the same time, so we don't have everyone crowded around the same thing. And if there are any issues, we try to fix those as fast as possible, but sometimes there are road bumps and we have to work through it. The first thing is just like being able to read and understand schematics. Like all of the plans are almost in a different language kind of that you have to be able to understand. And also being able to machine things, like use saws and mills and stuff like that, rivet guns. A lot of their life experiences actually. It's been really cool to hear all the stories that they have. The large majority of these people are retired pilots, and even though I probably won't go on to become a pilot, it's just really cool to hear all the stories that they have. The value of it is that it's just really hands-on. In school, especially nowadays, all of the lab time in schools, in classes, and also clubs like extracurriculars has really been cut down by the coronavirus, I would say. And so for anyone that's interested in aviation at all or engineering, this is just a really cool thing that you would want to consider becoming involved in. The most challenging thing, I would say just the time. It's a lot of dedication, but 2 years of coming every Saturday pretty much, but it's paid off.
I had been looking for an RV since the last air show in, where was that, Sebring, and I liked the RV-12 then. So I've looked at about 6 different aircraft all over the country, Indiana, Michigan, Texas, and when I got a chance to see this one, not only did I like the aircraft, but I liked the people, and then I was involved in how they were doing this program with the kids. And that meant a lot to me, and you can see the dedication here. This is not a job to them. And I could see the quality, and they watched this thing over, and by far, this is the best built RV-12 that I have flown. This is number 6. This is also the most advanced of the RV-12s. It's a 2020, it's the fuel-injected version. It's got some really neat features to it, but it's a different aircraft than I have looked at before, some of the simple things. But I'm very pleased with it, and I'm glad I'm a part of this because the money I'm putting in here I know is going to a good cause. There's some good kids. I've seen some real good kid dedication here. They spend some time way down in that epillage, and it's hot and sticky, and they're all into it. Now, if you get a chance, you take the back inspection cover off, you'll see that every one of these kids has signed their name inside that plane. I went in the Marines in '69, so that kind of gives you an idea how old I am. And as you get to a certain point, the Class 3 physical becomes a challenge. Well, this is what they call an LSA aircraft. This one's an ELSA, so it means it's been built by non-professionals, which is experimental light sport aircraft, which means I don't have to have that physical anymore. I just have to be healthy enough to carry any physical. And in my case, I can do that. So this is what prompted me to LSA, but then of all the LSA aircraft I've looked at, I like this one. It's not only the fastest, it's the quickest, and at cruise, it's 3 gallons an hour.
That's amazing.
My 172 at cruise is sucking down 9 gallons an hour. It's a big deal. You see, it comes in pretty quick. It doesn't use a lot of fuel, and it cruises about 110 to 115 miles an hour. It's got about a 600-mile range. Now the electronics on board, I grew up using a traditional 6-pack of instruments that are all physically there. This is what they call an electronic flight information system. It's made by Garmin. There's actually several different manufacturers, but this one's made by Garmin, and it knows more about this aircraft than I'll ever know. It has a complete section dedicated to the engine performance, right down to the point when you get to altitude and you want to be there, you can do an optimize. It optimizes the engine for fuel efficiency, for temperature. You know the temperature of the exhaust, you know the temperature of the head cylinders, oil pressure, water pressure, everything you want to know about that, it's in that piece. It's also a navigator. So for some reason, you become disoriented, you can hit the button that says autopilot and it takes over until you get your stuff together. You come here and you see these kids, it gives you that little spark of hope. These are some good kids. They've come from some troubled backgrounds. They've had some problems, as we all have. But these kids are out there, they're working on it, they're working through it, and I'm here to support them as the rest of these guys are. After my accident, I had broken my back in 3 places, my neck in 1. I had my hand almost removed. I lost 5 of my front teeth, broke my jaw, and I just said, I lost my wife in that deal too, but you know, at some point, that's why we're Marines. We just keep fighting. I guess we're too stupid to lay down and die. So, but I moved through it. It took me about a year to get out of the wheelchair. I moved on, and as you can see, I'm on my feet. I'm in a lot of pain, but I worked through it. Not only is a Marine vet, as every veteran, I would hope to think my kids, these kids, never have to go through that. This is the next generation. So you can either make something of it or not. You can sit home and watch TV, like most kids do, play with their video games, or you can have these kids like this that come out here and look at something. This may not be what they want to go into, but it gives them a knowledge of knowing where they're going to go from here. Some of these guys could be pilots. Some of these guys can be flight engineers. Some of these guys can be the mechanics as well, airframe power plant. These are all essential, but they're all good paying jobs, and they'll all be active members of the community. Can you ask for anything better? When my aircraft, as you see right there, that's November 515 Tango Foxtrot. 515 is my birthday, 515. And Tango Foxtrot is because I've always wanted to learn how to dance. But when the aircraft was being inspected by the Federal Aviation Administration, one of our mentors had brought up to him that these kids have worked hours, lots of hours on this aircraft, and they'd done everything they would do in a factory. Everything from drilling out the holes to put in the clecos and to put in the rivets, all the sheet metal, they've done it all. And so we asked if there was some way that we could give them some type of letter of certificate of accomplishment, achievement, 40 hours of frame building. So if they decided to go on to Embry-Riddle and become an airframe power plant mechanic, they have already got 40 hours in. And that goes towards that. So it's fun to watch these kids, and they go to do it, and they're doing it wrong. You tell them how to do it right, and they see why they do it that way, and the next time they do it exactly the way it's supposed to. They're learning, they're willing to learn, and that's a big part too. So that's a lot of fun to watch these kids develop like this. I'm looking forward to take it when she's all done, all painted and all decorated. I'm going to take her up to Oshkosh. I guess there's going to be quite a few of us going to fly in formation all the way to Oshkosh, and it's going to be a lot of fun, you know. That's boys and our toys.